Welcome into PFF HQ. Austin Gayle here with Solomon Wilcots, new PFF analyst. We're talking Cincinnati Bengals today, and the biggest storylines along that offensive line. Their first-round pick, Jonah Williams, going down with a big injury, is going to force Cordy Glenn, a veteran, almost 30 years old now, to go back out to left tackle. But looking at the grades, that's not a big reason for concern. Cordy Glenn's actually been pretty good at left tackle over recent years.
Yeah, obviously this is not how the Bengals wanted to begin the 2019 season. They wanted to have Cordy Glenn to start at that left guard position, but you mentioned with Jonah Williams going down, now he's going to have to go back to that left tackle position where he played 750 or more snaps 1 year ago. 500 of those were pass blocking plays. He graded really high, 71.3 as a pass protector, only gave up 2 sacks all season long. I think the narrative on Cordy Glenn is that he's not a good pass protector, not very good at the left tackle position. But by the grades that we saw in 2018, Cordy Glenn held up very well. Let's see if he can hold up again in 2019.
Absolutely. You go back to his days in Buffalo, he's earned higher grades, 85.9 pass blocking grade a couple years ago, but he's still very good, if not above average at left tackle, and he was that last season. He's a great pass protector. I think he can, it's not ideal, Jonah Williams was supposed to play left tackle and Cordy Glenn playing left guard, but him going to left tackle isn't the end of the world for them. There's more question marks at guard with John Jerry and John Miller filling in there.
Yeah, I really do think, let's go back and take a look at what Zach Taylor really wants to do with this offense. He wants to run the football. All the pass plays are going to come off play action. All the moves when it comes to protecting the quarterback and getting the ball out of the hands of Andy Dalton is going to be run pass option, play action opportunity, coming off of run look. So really, I think this offensive line, whether it's John Jerry and the interior at the guard position, Bobby Hart at the right tackle position, they are going to have to be good run blockers. And the pass protection, that's going to come off of run looks, off play action pass looks. So if Zach Taylor is going to have an effective offense in 2019, these 5 guys are going to have to be able to mobilize and get the running back, Joe Mixon, to the second level of the defense. If they can't do that, they don't have anything working. So I will give them a caveat in saying that the pass protection is not necessarily a premium like in most offenses because it's going to have to come off of their ability to run the football.
And I think that's a great point. If Zach Taylor is going to have success with this Bengals offensive line in 2019, he's going to have to fit to their strengths. More run blocking, more run blocking responsibilities, pass out of run looks, pass out of play action, because that's going to make this a lot easier for John Jerry, John Miller, Bobby Hart to pass protect when the defense is expecting run or play action even. So I'm really excited to see that. Going back to the guards specifically, you have John Miller and John Jerry kind of slated to start, both brought in over the offseason. But there's a guy that PFF loves a lot, Christian Westerman, former Arizona State product, who's played 100 snaps every preseason since he's entered the league in 2016 and graded very well. He played 96 snaps this past season and graded really well, 80-plus pass blocking grade, 80-plus run blocking grade. There's a chance he moves into that maybe John Jerry spot at guard or even taking John Miller. I think that would be a huge move for Zach Taylor and the Bengals.
And remember, Jim Turner comes in as the offensive line coach, and so Westerman is really going to have to fit to the liking of his offensive line coach, who is a very aggressive offensive line coach. He's a yeller. Yes, he's a screamer. But what they're going to ask him to do is a different technique than maybe what they ran 1 year ago. It's going to be a lot of outside zone runs, inside zone runs, a lot of really sliding and coming off the ball fast, and then reverse bootlegs for the quarterback, Andy Dalton, coming off of that run look. So there's going to be an adjustment for offensive linemen who had been on this team in the past in terms of what the Bengals are going to be doing in 2019. A lot of outside zone, a lot of inside zone. The offensive linemen have to be very athletic in this kind of system, but still be able to run, block, and be able to get the runner to the second level. We'll see if Westerman can fit into what Jim Turner wants to do with that offensive line.
Another guy that has to fit into Turner's scheme is Billy Price, the second-year Ohio State center that struggled with injury last year, had some bad games, had some good games. He needs to take a year or two jump in order for this Bengals offense offensive line specifically to really thrive, because he needs to be commanding that huddle and commanding this offense.
I think Billy Price will do good. Now, I'm only projecting, and you're right. I think we have to take a wait and see approach. But what do we know about Billy Price is that he is very smart. He is very athletic. In the scheme last year where they were doing more man blocking, more powerful running, coming off the ball, firing off for young center, rookie center. That's a lot to ask, to be able to overpower defensive linemen who are sitting in the gap, who are sitting right on your nose as a center.
Oh, yeah.
But now this is going to be an athletic offensive line. I think Billy Price is going to have an opportunity to play at a very high level within this offense. Now, the runners can make the offensive line look good too, because in that zone blocking scheme, all you have to do is move guys, and then the runners, Joe Mixon, Giovanni Bernard, they're asked to make one cut and get going downhill. Much like what we saw Todd Gurley do behind that Rams offensive line. This offensive line, all they're doing is taking the defensive lineman where they want to go. And then it's the runner's job to really do a good job of picking where he wants to cut up or cut back, but stick one foot in the ground, not a lot of juking, not a lot of pattering of the feet in the backfield. You get one cut, and then you got to get going downhill. So the runners can help make this offensive line look good in the run game as well.
Absolutely. The runners have to do their job. You need to stay healthy. The scheme is important. There's a lot of factors that's going to have to aid this offensive line. That is, down with injuries and going to be dipping into, man off the street on depth if, there are injuries. But there's a way for this offensive line to thrive. It revolves a lot around Zach Taylor and the scheme and the runners, but there is a chance this Bengals offensive line can perform above expectation. For more content like this, go ahead and subscribe to PFF's YouTube channel, or go ahead and go to the site at pff.com.